I don't have long to tell my story. My phone's battery is slowly dying, just like I am. I had always hated the circus. Something about the clowns, the weird music, it all just seemed off to me. It seemed irrational before, but now I have a reason to hate the circus. My mother, father, sister, and I all piled into the van. The ride was especially slow and boring, and my sister asking every 2 seconds, "Are we there yet?" didn't help make matters any better. When we finally got there, I moped behind my family, hearing the muffled sounds of carnival music and the ringmaster talking to the audience through a microphone. Me and my family found a seat near the front. My mother leaned over. "I'll be right back," she said. My father went with her. Me and my sister watched as acrobats flew through the air. A motorcyclist performed a death-defying stunt, and the clowns attempted to be funny. To wrap it all up, the ringmaster tamed the mighty lion. And that's when I realized my mother and father had never came back. I looked around, and since I didn't see them, I motioned for my sister to follow me. I walked to the exit. I awoke in a cell not much bigger than a dog cage. Razor wire entwined the thin wire poles that surround me. But outside, I could see something. A key. I looked to my right and left. There must have been hundreds of other cages. It was like they were trying to play some sick game. I knew what I had to do. I could escape. All I had to do was just reach my hand through. I took a deep breath and looked down at my hand. I slowly put my arm through one of the larger holes. I got up to about my mid-arm before I felt the razors begin to dig into my skin. It ripped my arm open effortlessly. Blood poured everywhere, but finally I felt the smooth metal of the key slip over my fingers. I struggled to pick it up, blood covered my hands, but I finally grabbed hold of it. I pulled my arm out, feeling the razors dig deeper into my skin, retracing my cuts. I sat there for a moment, holding my arm, trying not to scream, thinking that there might be someone listening to me. I fumbled to keep the key in my hand. I ran it over the lock that was inside of the cage. And then a clown began to walk by the cages. I pretended to be asleep. I don't think he noticed me. I waited until I could no longer hear his footsteps. I slowly turned the key in the lock, and I opened the door to the cage and got out, trying not to scratch up my back. I walked down, looking at the cages, looking at the other children. Dear God, my sister. I don't know what happened to her. She must be here. She was with me whenever I walked out. I scanned the cages, desperately looking for her. I shouldn't have went looking for her. I found her. An mangled corpse lay in her cage. Her eyes were gouged out. She had scratches all over her body. Her top was ripped. She wasn't wearing any pants. It hurt me so bad to look at her. So sweet and innocent. Mutilated like that. I tried not to sob too loudly as I tried to get out of that place, that horrible place. I found a hallway, not knowing where it led to, hoping, praying that it led to an exit. The clown. I could see a silhouette turning the corner at the end of the hallway. I wanted to run, but I knew it would make too much noise. The whole hallway was made of concrete. I turned and tried to get away. He saw me. He grabbed me and threw me over his shoulders. He took me into a room at the end of the hallway, and he tied me down to one of the tables. The leather straps dug into my cuts, forcing them even deeper into my arm. My arm was covered in crimson at this point. I was starting to even feel faint because of it. I listened to the clowns hum the same carnival music I had heard earlier when we first came, except this time he made it sound so dark and distorted. He fumbled over multiple weapons, a drill, a blowtorch, a scalpel. He finally decided on a knife. I don't know why. It seemed like it would have been the least painful of all of the things, but nonetheless I was grateful. He walked over to me. His face was contorted into a sick smile. He laid the knife on my leg, began to scrape away the skin. I couldn't take it anymore. I started screaming, crying. He looked up at me, angry. He stormed out of the room. I could hear him tramping down the hallway. Immediately, I fought against my restraints. I fought for my life. The leather dug into my arms, but still I tried to pull myself out of it. Finally, one of the straps broke. I undid the other straps and got up, hoping that clown wouldn't come back. Who knows what he'd do if he saw that I had escaped again. I tiptoed down the hallway as quickly as I could. Then I saw a trap door. I opened it, and I saw light. It led to the outside. I was free. I could get away from here. I pulled myself up. It was like a ghost town. The motorcyclist, he had no legs. He was crawling on the ground. His face was badly burnt. It smelled terrible. The clowns were all dressed in spikes and chains. Some carried whips, others carried spikes, makeshift weapons. I was just grateful they all didn't seem to notice me. I could see the carnival gate now aged and rusted. I ran towards it as quickly as I could, but I tripped. That's where I'm lying now, telling you all of this. Look, maybe this has never happened to anyone else. Maybe this never will happen again. Who knows why it happened to me? Who knows why this is happening? But please, I beg of you, don't go to the circus. It's not worth it.